Well, last week was Valentine's Day, and that means someone, somewhere, got engaged. But what happens to the ring if that proposal doesn't stick?
Here with a new monthly segment called Straight to the Point from Edgar Snyder and Associates is Rob Fisher. And Rob, we're so happy to have you here today.
Good to be here.
I'm sure all the kids are home today and you're still working. Got it.
They are watching.
Okay, good.
I walked out the door this morning and I wasn't thinking about this, thought it would be great. And my 7-year-old daughter goes, "Is this live TV?" I'm like, "Yes, it is." Yeah, I thought about the whole car ride.
Yeah, all of a sudden then it's set in.
Well,
Yes.
let's talk about Valentine's Day in particular. A lot
Yes.
of people use it as a great holiday to pop the big question. So what happens if shortly thereafter the engagement ends and you've given that ring, can you get it back?
So, urban legend is if you give a engagement ring on a holiday, it's gone forever, it's a gift. And in some states that might be true. But at Edgar Snyder and Associates, we decided to look it up. So it's not entirely true. Engagement rings are considered conditional gifts. So if you propose and actually propose, the ring isn't the person you propose to until you actually complete the marriage.
So it's like
most of the time.
a condition.
Yes.
Like
Right.
you have to fulfill said obligation of marriage.
Sure, but sort of. So if I just throw the ring to you and say, "Hey, here's a ring," and then 2 weeks later say, "Hey, let's get married," it's a gift.
Okay.
So there's a couple little
There's like an
caveats.
implied contract with the presentation of the ring.
But
Are you a
only
lawyer?
if.
Well, no,
Nailed it.
I plan on learning from you, Rob. Yes.
Only if, though, you ask the right question. Will you marry me?
Right.
Then it is a condition.
Yes, it is
Right.
a condition. One other looking this up, one other
Yeah.
new rule or law is that if you're also still married and you try to be engaged to somebody else, it's just a gift. That's new as of
so it
2023.
Oh,
So
that's
you're
a really
so
good
like
thing.
if you're in the process of getting a divorce,
Yep.
but still technically legally married, and you give a ring to somebody else, okay.
Yeah.
All right, what if you propose the day before Valentine's Day, February 13th? Does it matter? Still applies that way?
Yep, still
Okay.
good. I always thought holidays were, don't ever propose on a holiday. It seems like that's okay to do.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's talk about pets because sometimes pets can be given as gifts as well. We know this happens on the holidays or just because. But how does that happen if the relationship ends? Who gets the dog, the cat, the hamster?
So it's funny with pets. It's very near and dear to everybody's heart, right?
Yeah.
And pets are the equivalent of let's use a lamp, right? They're personal property.
Right.
So there's even a case, I think we sent it over, that says, if you give a lamp to somebody, you can't get the lamp back. It's a gift. A dog is considered the same thing. There's no custody agreements. There's no, hey, can we share the dog on Saturdays? It is property. It's a watch, it's a lamp. So if you give a dog or a cat or a turtle, then it's that person.
Considered property.
If you give it to the other person, but if you give it to like both yourself and the other person, it gets more complicated or no?
Well, as long as you're not, if you're married, then it's
Fine.
more complicated. But if you're not married, then it's a gift. If I
really?
give you a puppy
Really?
tomorrow, it's all yours.
Right,
You
right.
get it back.
So
Okay.
let's just say it's just a couple, no marriage. You go out together to purchase a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happens if the relationship ends? Who gets it?
That's a tough question.
I don't know,
You have
like
to
who?
look- I don't think I have that answer for you. It depends.
If it's a gift, though,
It's
a gift.
yes.
Here's what I would say. If it was my future wife's idea to get the dog and we got the dog and it didn't work out, I'm guessing I'm not getting that dog
Right,
back.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right. What if you're really going to give a big gift like a car?
Oh my gosh! You know the commercials at Christmas time. They're
I
like,
know where there's a
"Buy me-"
big bow. And like who does
If
that?
you really
Somebody
love
does
them,
it, I guess.
You'll get them a Range Rover for Christmas.
Well, again, it depends on how you give it. If you
Yeah.
give somebody money and they go get the car, it's that person's car. If you give them the car and you still hold the title, you probably can get the car back.
So if you buy the car yourself and you put like your name is on the title and then you give it to someone, that's your out. That's how you could get it back.
Yes, you have to
Okay.
fight for it, but possibly you can get it back.
Right.
Yes.
But if you give someone the cash and say, "Here, honey, go buy a car,"
Oh.
totally done.
Buy
I
by
don't know
car.
that if somebody gives me that kind of money, cars are expensive nowadays. If somebody gives me that kind of money, I don't know that I'm getting the car. I think I'll take the bus and use the cash.
Use the cash for something else.
Cash is yours, though.
Last is a vacation. Let's say you book a trip together and the relationship ends. What happens to said trip?
Buy insurance.
Okay.
So all my advice I could give is.
So
Yeah.
really, that would cover it? Like
I would think
yeah.
so, yeah. Otherwise, or you're both going on the trip and staying in separate rooms,
Ooh,
right?
that makes it
They're
interesting,
probably
doesn't
your only two options.
Oh, that sounds like
Yeah.
a TV movie of the week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, forced to
Couple
take
weeks.
vacation together. Yeah.
That could be a reality show.
It could.
It could be.
It's probably next season on CBS. Yeah.
I like
Thank
it.
you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Interesting stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I learned a thing or two. All right, Rob Fisher from Edgar Snyder and Associates. Thank you as always.
And we're going to get straight to the point each month here on PTL. In March, we're talking about the ins and outs of betting just in time for those March Madness brackets. And if you want to stick around, we have tons of breakfast.
I'm
We
in.
feed you today.
Yeah.
I
All
can't
right.
Yeah.
guarantee it in March, but today there's food.